Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli wa nusallimu ala rasulihil kareem, amma ba'd. My dear respected brothers and sisters, in this world, people love so many things. People love their family, people love their cars, their houses, their wealth and properties. But for a true believer, a Muslim, the a'zamul hubb, the greatest love, is the love of Allah. A Muslim is and should be very intense in the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَتَّخِذُ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ أَنْدَادًا. That among the people, some people, they take some false gods, association, andadan, false gods, with Allah, and يُحِبُّونَهُمْ كَحُبِّ اللَّهِ. They love them like the love of Allah, meaning the love that they express to them, they should be expressing it to Allah. But rather than that, they are putting their love into false gods, into gold, silver, money, whatever a person loves. And then Allah says, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. And those who are the believers, they are very intense in the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They make an effort and they put direct love, the love that they have, they put it directly to Allah azza wa jalla. You know, Allama Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawzi, rahimahullah, he says, فَكَأَنَّمَا لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ لَيْسَ كَمَحَبَّتِهِ شَيْءٍ. Such a beautiful statement that he made, that as there is nothing like Allah, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. There is nothing like Allah. In the same way, there is no love like the love of Allah. Beautiful. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. That all example of Allah are the best. So Allah's love is the greatest love. And time to time, we need to remind ourselves, we need to remind our children and keep on reminding them and us this lesson in our hearts. This is the essence of our faith. This is the essence of our worship, of our ibadah. Why do we get out of our beds? Why do we leave everything? If we are working, we leave our work and we come for the salat. We leave our comfort of our beds, the comforts of our sofas. We get up when the time of salat comes. You know. Why do we stay at a place where there is no materialistic beauty? We say in Mina, we say in Muzdalifah, in Arafat, there's no any beauty around there. Those brothers and sisters who have visited, it's all mountains and black mountains and no, look at here, there's all greenery here, right? You see there's some scenery, some beauty. But there, if you look in the worldly, there's nothing. But the Muslims, the brothers and sisters, they go and they wish to go at least once in their life, and then they stay in Mina for a few days, they stay in Muzdalifah for a few hours, in Arafat for a few hours. So this is all to only express the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the love that we have for Allah. all our ibadat are a demonstration and expression of our love for Allah. And this is the sweetest and the purest love. There's a hadith in which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, who loves Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than anything or anyone. Who loves Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than anything and anyone. Number one. Number two, who loves others for the sake of Allah. There's no any other intention. I love the brother for the sake of Allah. I love others because he is a generous person, or he is going to help me, or he is this, that. No. There's no any other intentions. And number three, one who hates to turn to kufr, to disbelieving, after Allah have saved him from kufr. So these three, who have these three characteristics in them. Number one is, who loves Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than anything or anyone. Number two, who loves Allah, who loves each other, a person who loves one another, each other only for the sake of Allah. And number three is, who hates to turn towards kufr after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has saved him. Thinking about it, just hating that idea that I don't want to go back, I don't want to go to the najas and the filth and the kufr and shirk. So if someone has these three characteristics, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that he will taste the sweetness of Iman, the ladha, the halawa of Iman. So to attain this halawa, this sweetness, to attain it, we stand in salah. To attain it, we recite the Quran. To attain it, we fast. To attain it, we give out money to the poor and the needy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah At-Tawbah, He says, قُلْ إِن كَانَ آبَاءَكُمْ قُلْ إِن كَانَ آبَاؤُكُمْ وأبناؤكم وإخوانكم وأزواجكم وعشيرتكم وأموال اقترفتموها وتجارة تخشونها كسادها ومساكن ترضونها أحب إليكم من الله ورسوله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, in the Quran, 8 things Allah counted that are very beloved to the believers, to the people. Right? So Allah says that if you love all these things, aba'ukum, your parents, wa abana'ukum, your children, wa ikhwanukum, your siblings, wa azwajukum, your spouses, wa ashiratukum, your family members, your relatives, wa amwalun iqtaraftumuha, and the wealth that you acquire, wa tijaratun takhshawnaha kasadaha, and the tijara and the wealth and the whatever you have, you fear that will get lost from you. Wa masakinu tardawnaha, and the houses and the places that you live in, you cherish, you love. Ahabba ilaykum min Allahi wa rasulihi. All these things, if you love these things more than Allah, what Allah is saying, if you love these things more than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah says, فَتَرَبَّأَنْ أَحَبَّ إِلَيْكُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَجِهَادٍ فِي سَبِيلِهِ. That you love it more than Allah, and you love these things more than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you love it more than striving in the path of Allah. فَتَرَبَّصُوا حَتَّى يَأْتِيَ اللَّهُ بِأَمْرِهِ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that wait for the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a threat. Allah did not mention any punishment right away. He said, then you should wait what is coming for you. And then we can see that those people who love these worldly materials more than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are rebellious against Allah. Why Allah is saying? Then right away He says, Wallahu la yahdil qawmal fasiqin. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide who are rebellious. So those who have more, we should love our parents, we should love our children, we should love our spouses, we should love our wealth. We make so much effort, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day we work, we have our money, there's nothing wrong. But when it comes the comfort of our family, when it comes and then Allahu Akbar, Adhan comes. And we know that it's time for Adhan. We know that there's going to be Jamaat after 10 minutes, after 15 minutes, after half an hour. We do not prepare ourselves. We're just sitting there, we're sleeping, we're laying down, we're playing with our family, with our kids. We're with our friends, having a good time. And that doesn't lift us from where we are sitting. That doesn't lift us where we are laying down. Then we can understand that we can compare the love. Whether we have the love of Allah, we have the love of our family more. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَتَرَبَّصُوا حَتَّى يَأْتِيَ اللَّهُ بِأَمْرِهِ. So wait, this is a threat, wait. And wait for the will of Allah to come. And then we cry, we complained. Why is this happening to me? Why is that happening to me? Why am I in this trouble? How come I did this? How come I did that? So, if someone doesn't love Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then he doesn't deserve the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we don't have that love, we can say by our tongue that I love Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but our actions are otherwise, then there's a problem. You know, when we look into the prayers of Anbiya Karam alayhimus salam, it was not just a request. It's not a dua that they used to make. It was a communication that they had with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not just the words like we do, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban ameen. It's not the words that what are we asking Allah? We're having a communication with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what dua is. It's just like a person who talks with someone who he adores, who he loves. They used to talk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is what is required from all of us. We should have a khilwa ma'allah. A separate time. There's no one with you. You're all alone and you're just talking. You're having a conversation with Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah will provide the shade on the day of judgment when the shade is needed. There will be no other shade than the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There will be 7 categories of people in which Allah will provide the shade. And among those is رَجُلٌ ذَكَرَ اللَّهُ خَالِيًا. A person who remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all alone. There's no one there. He's all alone and he's having a conversation with Allah. He's remembering Allah. He's making dua to Allah. He's crying of his sins. When is the last time that we have sat and we have talked to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all alone? When was the last time? Allah loves us more than our parents, more than anything or anyone. Even in His commandments is love. The commandments that He has given to us in the Quran, the commandments that do this, is love in it. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't do this, is love in it. That He knows that the commandment that I'm giving to you, to do it, it is beneficial for you. It will benefit you, no one else. And Allah says that do not do this, stay away from these things. Allah is saying that this is beneficial for you. If you're going to go in it and you're going to be involved in these things, you will be the loser. So in His commandments, the love of Allah is shown. We love our parents, we love our children, but who gave us our parents? Who gave us our children? Who gave us our wealth? But we forget that who has created love in us for our parents, who has created the love in us for our children, for everything. So Allah deserves more love. That is why Allah says, Allah praises those that وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبَّ لِلَّهِ. Those believers who are true believers are more intense in the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, they love what they have, what Allah has given to them. But when the time comes to choose, when the time comes for the prayer, for doing something that Allah has given you the responsibility and it is obligatory upon you at that time, they do not neglect. Love for Allah is a natural love. It is not, you don't have to force it. It is not that you have to force into yourself to love Allah and the love to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is natural. When Allah created all the souls, Allah talked to them and said, Alastu bi rabbikum, am I not your Rabb? Am I not your Lord? And everyone all replied, Qalu bala. Yes, Ya Allah, you are our Rabb, you are our Creator. So this is the love. But the problem is that our soul, our ruh, is imprisoned in a body. That gets attracted towards the shahwat, the lust and the desires of this dunya. The soul itself loves Allah. The soul itself testified that qalu bala. Bala, yes, you are our, but our soul is imprisoned in our body, and that body is attracted towards shahwat. We only need to remove a little bit of rust and dust of these shahwat from our body. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُ. Everything, every creation loves Allah and remembers Allah. The tasbih, the tahmeed, praises Allah, glorifies Allah, each and everything, each and every creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A very amazing dua of Dawood alayhi salam is mentioned in Tirmizi, and we should be memorizing this dua if we don't know it. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentioned the dua of Dawood alayhi salam. Allahumma inni as'aluka hubbak wa hubba man yuhibbuk. Oh Allah, I ask for your love. I ask for your love. When there's no love of Allah in us, then we're the losers. All creation can love you. The whole universe can love you. But if Allah doesn't love you, we're the losers. Allahumma inni as'aluka hubbak. Ya Allah, I ask for your love and the love of those who love you. The creation that loves you, I want their love as well. وَالْعَمَلِ الَّذِي يُبَلِّغُنِي حُبَّكَ. And for the action that will cause me to attain your love. All those actions that I do and you're happy with those actions, give those actions to me. I want to do those actions so that you love me through those actions. Allahumma ja'al hubbak ahabba ilayya min nafsi wa ahli wa min al-ma'il barid. Ya Allah, make your love more beloved to me than myself. I want to love you more than myself. Wa ahli, and my family. Wa min al-ma'il barid, and the cold water. More than the cold water. Why Anbiya Karam alayhi salam was tortured? Why were they were killed? Zakaria alayhi salam, Yahya alayhi salam, they were all killed. All the prophets were tortured. Physically, mentally. And many prophets were banished. Right? from their cities because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Al-Buruj. What is that reason? Why are Muslims in today's day and age and previously and those who will come after us, they will be criticized. It will be very difficult to stay in religion, in faith. And as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in the hadith, it will be to follow your religion, to practice your religion. A time will come, it will be just like, it will be more difficult than holding a burning charcoal in your hand. Right? Holding a burned charcoal in your hand. How difficult is that? Not even for a second you can hold it. You will drop it off. It will be more difficult to follow your deen. And this is what is happening. How difficult it is. We can see, and it's going to get more difficult. So, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Al-Buruj, قُتِلَ أَصْحَابُ الْأُخْدُودِ النَّارِ ذَاتِ الْوَقُودِ. So Allah says, وَمَا نَقَمُوا مِنْهُمْ إِلَّا أَن يُؤْمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ الْعَزِيزِ الْحَمِيدِ. The only crime of the believers is what? That they believe in Allah. That's the crime. That's the main crime. And that is why it's going to be very difficult for the believers, the true believers, to follow their religion. More difficult and more painful than holding a burnt charcoal. Allah mentions it. وَمَا نَقَمُوا مِنْهُمْ إِلَّا يُؤْمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ. This is the reality, brothers and sisters, that when we love Allah, Allah loves us. And when we love Allah and Allah loves us, we will be definitely tested. Who is the most closest relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The prophets, the messengers. When they were tested, why are we going to be left alone? Allah will test the love. You know, when a boy and a girl, when they are in love, they test each other. Whether this person loves me or no, whether she loves me or not, but they test each other. Human beings test each other, whether this individual is my good friend or not. So brothers and sisters, when we are being tested, we should have sabr and shukr. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when an individual has sabr and shukr, patience, always being grateful to Allah, the ranks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raises. There's a hadith of Qudsi, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allah says that if you remember me alone, I will remember you alone. If you remember me in a gathering, I will remember you in a better gathering, the gathering of the malaika, the angels. If you come towards me to show your love at a hand's length, I will come towards you an arm's length. If you come towards me at an arm's length, I will come towards you at a fathom length. And if you come towards me walking, I will come towards you running. Subhanallah. When we receive Allah's love, all creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Allah will never throw his friend in Jahannam. A true friend, you will always protect your true friend. You know that he's my true friend. He will give his life for me. So whenever a problem comes, you will be there for them. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, those who are true believers, who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are the friends of Allah. Waliullah. So he will never throw his true friends in Jahannam. So we must keep on reminding ourselves, we must keep on reminding our children to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Especially by loving means to love by actions. Because actions speak louder than words. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.